What is going on, everybody? It's Matt Marchese, also known as Islanders Daily, your daily news from the four-time Stanley Cup champions, New York Islanders, and we're back with another episode today. Obviously, things look, a little different, where some renovations are going on, but I did find my hat this morning. So I remember I said I couldn't find it. I did find it. It came up, and we're back to wearing the hat, which is a good sign. I always like wearing the hat for these videos and everything like that. So, like I said, we're back today, and to get things started, we're going to be talking about Kayshawn Aitchison. It's going to be quick, but, he's been having an incredible OHL season, but Aitchison continues to kind of get in a little bit of trouble. He continues to deal with some disciplinary troubles in the OHL, and something that the Islanders will probably want to clean up into when he makes the NHL. Obviously takes a lot of penalties, but this is for a completely different reason, as he was suspended 2 games for chucking water in a fan's face following that game against the Sioux Greyhounds. So just a crazy story. I mean, you guys can find the video out there if you want. It's a pretty crazy video. The dude's heckling him, and he just throws the water right in his face, and it's kind of awesome, actually. I don't know if I should be saying that, but it's always funny to see hecklers get dealt with, and obviously Aitchison gets suspended for 2 games, and it's not his first suspension that he's had to deal with, but, whatever, it's chill. It's just kind of something funny to really think about there, and Aitchison gets suspended, unfortunately, but, he continues to just tear it up in the OHL, Aitchison, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can bring to the Islanders in the future. And, he should be, I think he's more impressive than people thought, especially on the offensive side of things. He's been a goal-scoring machine in the OHL, and that's a good sign for the Islanders. If you have 2 solid defensemen, Schaefer, Aitchison, who knows? They could be a 1-2 pairing in a few years and could dominate the league. That's what you have to hope for. I mean, I already think Schaefer is generational. I don't think Aitchison is a generational player by no means, but I think he can be a very solid pairing to work with Schaefer in the future. And obviously, our defense is a lot worse than I thought people thought this year with the struggles of Romanov and D'Angelo and everything. But we'll just have to see where that goes. And then we're going to be talking a little bit about Ilya Sorokin now. And Stefan Rosner asked a question about how much he's learned from Sergei Namov's the new goalie coach. And Sorokin made it clear that they're not reinventing the wheel. There's no major changes from what Pierre Greco was doing, just small details. So Sorokin really wasn't saying much about anything that's changed. And then the next thing we hear is people kind of, the turnaround is we also see Patrick Waugh starting to help Ilya Sorokin. And, Patrick Waugh has stated time and time again that he's confident in Sorokin. And when you're struggling, you're going through, maybe a little bit of a confidence problem, a mental lapse, to have somebody there and a coach that's, confident in you that you can fix things up, it definitely helps you in the future. And I really think that's what we are seeing with Ilya Sorokin and the help that he has been getting from the New York Islanders, from Patrick Waugh, Matthew Darche making the goalie coach change. And, could have been a wake-up call for him as well. That, he could be like, he realized that, oh man, I'm not playing good at all, and it got my goalie coach fired. So it was definitely a wake-up call, and he's just been playing great, Sorokin. This is the Sorokin that we've been waiting for. He's a Sorokin who, was a Vezina Trophy finalist a few years back. This is the Sorokin we need if the Islanders want any chance to do anything this season. And he's been playing great. Obviously, last year, people were talking about you needed Sorokin to be at an elite level. I wasn't at an elite level. I think he was at a good level. But last year, the Islanders, they had a lot more problems than just the goaltending and everything like that. But Waugh and Darche, Sorokin might have found a little bit of a groove here. I'm assuming he'll go against Vegas, I want to say, and Riddick will get Utah. Now, it could be Riddick gets Vegas, Sorokin gets Utah. Either way, both goalies will be playing because it is back-to-back games. So we will just have to wait and see what they opt to do. Obviously, they play on Thursday against Vegas and then Friday against Utah. And, I film my videos about when there's a game on after the game to just be raw about it and remember all the details that occurred and just be able to talk from it there. So I'm going to end up having to film that Thursday video at around like 2 a.m. So that might be a fun one, being exhausted and everything. We'll have to see how that goes, but should be, a little bit comedic, everything there, because I'll be exhausted. I already know it. I'm already dreading having to film right after watching that game. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. I love the wait. I love the late West Coast games. I think they're enjoyable to watch, just chilling and watching them late at night and then hitting the hay afterwards. Sometimes you rather be hitting the hay. Either you're hitting the hay and you're happy, or you're disappointed going to sleep. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see there. Obviously, I think the Islanders have been playing good hockey. Vegas is a great team, a very strong team, and Utah's playing good. So it's going to be tough. But Sorokin, he has confidence now. I think Sorokin is really starting to find that confidence, and all we can do is hope that it continues going forward, because a good Sorokin means a good Islanders team, and we'll just have to wait and see. And then obviously now I want to talk about Bo Horvat a little. We know that the Winter Olympics are coming up in February, and I don't think any Islanders will make it, and I don't really want any Islanders to make it. As weird as that sounds, you don't want to risk an injury in the Olympics or anything like that. But the way Bo Horvat is playing, he definitely deserves to be on the Canadian Olympic team. There's no reason Bo Horvat should not be on that Canadian Olympic team. And I'll say it, if Horvat doesn't make the Olympic team, he's snubbed. He's snubbed. I think he should be playing for Team Canada. I think he's a very good player. I think he deserves that. Obviously, I would prefer not, so he doesn't get, hurt or anything. But right now, I think Horvat deserves to play for Team Canada. And I know Canada's, whoever there's running it there, said that they don't want to bring Bedard or Celebrini, the two of them, because they don't want the young guys, which is just weird. But if they don't want the young guys, you got a guy who's scoring pretty good in Bo Horvat. So I do really hope that Bo Horvat, for himself, can make the Olympics. Obviously, I won't be kicking rocks, or I won't be upset if he doesn't make the Olympics. But I just feel like he's a player who deserves to be there. He's worked hard. He's a good leader on and off the ice for the Islanders. And yeah, he should be there. I mean, 16 games played. He has 12 goals, 8 assists for 20 points. He's tearing it up right now, Bo Horvat. He is tearing it up. And, this is the Bo Horvat we've been waiting for, and he's playing great. And I'm so excited, so happy that we're getting to see what Bo Horvat truly can be when he is playing good hockey, when he's playing in the right system of hockey. And he's a superstar when he's, at his full level. And I'm finally excited that we're getting to see that style of Bo Horvat, because it's been a long time coming. It has been a long time coming since that, trade we got him from the Canucks. And the more I think of it, I mean, what a trade that was for the Islanders when you really think about it now. I mean, we gave up the first-round pick, Anthony Beauvillier and Aatu Räty. And Aatu Räty really hasn't done much for the Canucks. He's average there. I know a lot of Islander fans were upset when they traded him, thinking he could be a superstar. He's not. He's an okay player, so you don't really mind losing him. You gave up Anthony Beauvillier. He's no longer on the Canucks, so it really does not matter at all. And then he gave up a first-round pick that the Canucks flipped for, I think, Philip Hronek from the Red Wings. And so they got rid of all the stuff we gave them. Now, I think Hronek's okay. But, yeah, definitely that trade worked out huge for the Islanders and was a very good trade looking back at it. And, yeah, so, that's all we really have to say about Bo Horvat. I just want him to see I want to see him if he can make the Olympics, because right now I think he deserves to make the Olympics. Now, finally, we're going to be talking a little bit about some comments. The first comment says, trade Horvat for a haul, trade Lee, trade Sorokin for a haul. I'm going to have to disagree with that comment. I don't think you should trade Horvat or Sorokin, and I wouldn't trade Lee unless you are completely out of the playoffs at the, trade deadline, because I don't think Lee is going to fetch you that much. Obviously, I think he can fetch you some, but I would only move on from him if you're completely out of the playoffs. And then Horvat and Sorokin, even though you're in a rebuild, you still want to keep solid players on. Hockey is a sport where I think you can rebuild fairly quickly, I think the parity is pretty good in hockey for, teams making the playoffs and everything. So I think this is a sport where you can turn it around quickly. It's not like except unless you're the Buffalo Sabres, but it's not like a sport. I mean, sports, if you have the right people at the helm, you can turn it around quickly. I mean, the only teams who really don't are teams who have bad people at the helm. I mean, the Jets, the Sabres, the Los Angeles Angels. Those teams have long droughts because of, different problems of ownership and stuff like that. So I think the Islanders, obviously, I'll always say trade anybody if it is an insane haul. I mean, I'm a Jets fan. They just traded Sauce Gardner, who they probably weren't thinking to trade, but they got a crazy haul for him. So if something opens up where you can get mass amounts of picks, prospects, obviously the trades work different in leagues, you make that deal. I don't think anybody should be untouchable ever. And obviously, if you can get a crazy haul, I don't mind trading Horvat or Sorokin. Now, I wouldn't willingly be shopping them at that time. But if somebody comes in there with a can't pass deal, obviously you would take that you would take that deal and see where it happens. And yeah, that's really what the Islanders need to think about. Obviously, if they're competing for a playoff spot, I don't think they'll trade anybody at all. I don't see a world on where they would trade anybody at all. You just have to wait and see. I don't think they will, though, unless, of course, like I said, they are completely out of the playoffs, and then we will just have to wait and see. Obviously, if the Islanders can keep playing like this, there's a good chance they can make the playoffs, but unfortunately, the Eastern Conference is so competitive, so it's going to be tough sledding. But that's really all it's going to be. I know we had a Vancouver Canucks fan here saying he had the privilege of watching Bo Horvat play there and how good he's happy to see him playing for the Islanders like how he is now. So that's always cool to see. But yeah, that's really going to do it for this video. As always, I hope you all enjoy. Be sure to leave comments down below so we can get some discussions going in these videos. And then as always, let's go Islanders.